Hey, how you guys doing? This is the producer from Brothers Comics. Welcome to the Marvel Hack Season 11, Episode 10. Finally, it ends. Lord have mercy if you're watching it on the YouTube channel. Hutch's screen name says finally number 25. We had started out so great, reminiscing about these books from X-Men 1991, 92 ish. We were doing so well, and then we got caught in the Executioner song. Is that right? Yeah, or Extinction Agenda. I can't remember. They both suck.
Executioner song.
Yeah, Executioner song, it just derailed us completely because it was
Bad.
so freaking bad. So we are ending where we said we were going to end, issue number 25. We'll spoil the hell out of it. It's a Wolverine centric issue. And we're going to go through that tonight, as well as we're going to do our recap of the conclusion of Falcon and Winter Soldier tonight. But before we get through all of that, introduce everybody on the pod. If you're watching the pod on YouTube, bottom left, it's the Sandman. Sandman, say what's happening.
Hello, Marvel people. What's going on tonight?
Man, we're just chilling, recording on a Tuesday night. Everything world isn't burnt down yet. We'll give it some time though.
You're on the way.
If you're watching on YouTube, bottom right is Brother Beavis. Man, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, everybody? And if you're wondering if you missed like the last 6 episodes that we got from like issue 12 to 25,
Yeah.
you didn't.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. It's in the recap part here, and also on the line upper left is Big Hotch Me. What's going
Hello,
on?
everybody. Greetings.
Yes, I know we should do this thing where we could do center square, like the old
All
what was that
in.
show? What was that show called?
Tic Tac
Tick-
Doe.
yeah,
Hollywood
yeah,
Squares.
yeah, Hollywood
Oh,
Square,
that
yeah,
one.
where the
Mm.
stars
Mm.
used to have that one dude that was on I Dream of Genie. He was like the main like center square back in the day.
Right. He was right.
Harry
The
Hagman?
yes, the very eccentric uncle or
Yeah,
whatever he was.
yeah, that guy. Anyway,
Yeah.
Oh, the other
all
guy.
right.
Yeah.
So set the show X-Men issue number 25. We will do a recap on how we got to this moment in terms of skipping a bunch of books, and it will clearly explain why when we get to that point. Captain America and Winter Soldier recap. See what I did there? And that's where it is. All right. So why did
Spoiler
we?
alert.
Yeah, exactly. Why did we skip so many books? All right, we started this podcast this season just to recap some books that we thought were cool from our youth. And much like damn near everything that we do when we go look back at our youth, Hutch, this shit ain't that cool anymore.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yes, that it happens. You perspective, age, crappy cartoons and comics. Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of hyped to get into the blue gold era. We got those books. Jim Lee was on it. Everything was looking good, Brother Beavis. And then it didn't.
I think the funniest part of this whole thing is like how hyped we were when they relaunched the blue gold teams. We were like, oh, this is gonna be great. And now we're back in there like, what were we thinking?
Oh my God!
You
Yeah,
suck.
it's bad. Yeah, if you go to the archives at Brothers Comics, you can see when we did the Thursday night comic book show and they relaunched Blue and Gold, and that was infinitely worse than this. So yes, but
Hmm.
Kitty Pryde was
So bad.
leading one team. That was
Oh,
the problem,
Jesus.
and oh
Ooh.
God, oh man, it was really bad. Anyway, so we finished Executioner's song, and then we were like, all right, well, we can go through some of these other issues. But then when we were starting to look ahead, guess who showed back up? Omega Red showed back up. Oh, we did that already. And then there's the Revanch Psylocke split, which comes up here too.
Saga.
What do y'all
Whatever the hell you
remember
wanna call
about
it.
that crap? It wasn't worth recapping, by the way. What do y'all remember about that?
Psylocke is hot and wears a nice bathing suit.
Well, Asian Psylocke is hotter. Yeah,
But,
that's what
well, Betsy Braddock could get it too. But yeah, sure.
I remember it just like kind of being confusing and then just sort of going away. And then I think they cleaned it up by having her get the legacy virus, which have essentially skipped over.
Yeah.
That was
Thank
the
the Lord.
reveal from the Executioner song, and now the ramifications of that are leading us to this book. But yeah, I think the other thing from that whole window of books is like they were changing the art team, the creative teams out a lot as well.
Yeah.
A lot of guest artists. Some books were drawn by like 50 different people
Mhm.
before they really settled down again. And I think there's also a lot of stories that didn't quite get what they thought out of them. And I think a lot of the Psylocke arc falls into that category.
Yeah.
But I would say, in defense of the books that we skipped, there's not a lot of great villains, but there actually, I think, is some reasonable character development. Colossus gets a lot of pages dedicated to him over the course of the book because of Ileana and the legacy virus. But there's really, like, there are downtime moments or books where they're just sort of moving in between stories that I think there is actually some good stuff and some more like the traditional kind of what you expect from the X-Men. There is a pretty good amount of that, but the story arcs and the villains are just not strong.
Yeah, and it's and what it should be, a couple of 2-issue story arcs where they tell these tales and then they just dip out, which is kind of what they're supposed to do. It's just not really with any strong characters or villains that you actually care about or make those books memorable. So yeah, there's a Gambit Rogue like kind of love story issue in there too. It's just really kind of was like rudderless trying to get to issue number 25. I mean, yeah, just not great.
I think also, like, the blue and gold concept ended up being pretty flexible. Like they really didn't stick to that.
Yes,
and it was one thing that different
merge.
characters moved between the books, but to me, this stretch of books got to the point where you really felt like you were missing out by not reading other books, and not just the other X-Men books, but they were drawing on stuff that was happening in other books to a greater extent.
Right.
So it's hard to just read one title and get anything out of it at this point.
And Brother Reeves brings up the idea before we hit record, is that in Uncanny, the setup for this is here. Ileana dies of the legacy virus.
Yay!
Come on, man. You're cheering for the death of children now?
She's a 300-year-old demon. Who cares?
Yeah, that's rough. She dies. Colossus is obviously upset with the loss of his sister, and then his brother had not died much long before that as well. So he's obviously in an emotional state. They have the funeral. He ain't trying to hear about Xavier's dream at that particular time, to say the least. And
who is?
Yeah, and so they have this big,
blowout,
at the funeral, and then he winds up leaving with. Colossus winds up leaving with Magneto and the Acolytes or whatever. And there's a big Bishop actually, everybody lays the hands of Jesus on Bishop, where he absorbs like their powers and he's able to go after somebody or whatever. But I mean, it was fine. But that's our lead up to this particular moment. Magneto has pulled up to Avalon. He's trying to chill. Of course, down on Earth, they're like, that's not going to work. And that's where we pick up at issue number 25. I brought this out for the YouTube watchers here. I got my original copy, probably the 6th printing of this particular issue of X-Men number 25 with the foil embossed cover. This was a thing back then. Yeah.
As Renee would say, variating, chromating colors or something.
$3.
The 90s.
$3.50, y'all. And I'm not gonna take it out of its bag and board, but it has the full cover as well. It's like an all around cover that really actually kind of spoils what's actually going to happen in this book. Again, I'm not reading in August of '92. Does anybody remember reading these live? And
again,
yeah, I was reading them.
Okay, but hold on, for the younger folks here. Okay, this is no internet. The only way you're getting any spoilers for comic books is maybe through Wizard. Is that, I didn't even know if Wizard's still a thing. So like that's it.
I think they're digital.
Yeah, so anything that you got, like, I mean, these books were a real big surprise. So you guys were reading at that particular time?
Yes.
You were reading this live?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your initial reaction?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, from that period, I don't remember like any like, oh, I can't wait. It was just, I don't know. I was like almost reading comics just to read comics. Even like the big, oh, we actually have to put some effort into concealing this Thunderbolts twist. I mean, it was cool, but I never threw the book down and ran around the house like after reading the pages or anything like that.
Yeah, right. I mean, I probably heard about this from one of y'all telling me about it. Sandman, you were an active reader at this time?
Yeah, I was in Alaska at that time, and they did have a comic book shop there. So
what else were you gonna do?
Yeah, they had actually a couple, but it was started. I mean, it was okay. It was the story between Xavier and Magneto is starting to get beyond repetitive by that time. I mean, it was this it was always the big mutant versus mutant blowout, and okay, go to your corners for about 6 months, and then we'll come back and do it again.
Yeah.
So, so I mean, it was, they finally did something that we like were wondering, was like, well, why didn't he do that a long time ago?
Yeah.
Magneto, I'm talking about.
Mhm.
And so I mean, that was crazy, and that ended up being what, Bone Wolverine and Wild Crazy Wolverine after the, which was I had checked out by that time, I think. But
And
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
Go ahead.
that's actually a good point. Like, I think it was more shocking when he popped his bone claws
yeah,
than when he
yeah,
got
when he was all still weak, and
yeah.
yeah,
That's
he
like
would bleed when
X-Men
he popped up and
75
stuff. Yeah.
or Wolverine 75.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hutch, were you an active reader at this time, or are you still Uncle Salmon in it, August of '92?
I was Uncle Sam in August of '92.
Mm.
I was not actively reading this at the time. I thought I'd outgrown all this. I don't need to read this anymore. Yeah.
I'm a man.
I'm
Yeah.
a man. I'm whatever you were at the time. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, spoiler alert. Wolverine's gonna get his adamantium ripped out. I don't know if y'all hadn't read this in
What?
30 years. Well, I know. Yeah, 30 years ago.
I think I read this at your house, or I read it at somebody's house.
As a
I don't
rule,
own
if
it.
the trademark has expired, you can spoil it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The company has switched places 3 times by now. Yeah.
Right. So, all right. So this book is called Fatal Attractions / Death of a Dream. What about this cover though? We're not looking at the wraparound portion, just the opening scene there. This is Adam Kubert on the cover, or Andy Kubert, excuse me. About that cover, anything you see there?
Yeah, I think this is still, there's some Jim Lee sort of framing and posing going on, but you have the trademark Kubert face. But yeah, strong Magneto with Wolverine front to back, and then we'll have this strike team arrayed on the back page.
Called it a strike team. There's a strike, all right. A strike out team. What the hell? Wait, what the hell?
Nah, it's cool. It's they show Wolverine's definitely gonna get something bad happen, but I don't think it belies what actually the end result.
What lies beneath?
Yeah. So Hutch, can you show the wraparound cover there? Can you see that? Is there
the wraparound?
Does it give you the other?
If you open it up, it'll show you.
I don't know about that. No. Let me see here. I'm clicking.
Print issue. Who the hell's printing comic books on a printer?
I guess nothing.
All right, don't worry about it. All right. So anyway, we open up with white Nick Fury. That's a thing, y'all. Y'all know this.
All right. He's about to get racial already. 10 minutes in.
Can we call him Pale Nick Fury?
Pale. All right, fine.
Behold a pale Nick Fury. Yeah.
Yeah. Pale Nick Fury is working with Forge. The White House is on alert. As this,
that's what they should
whatever. The Kremlin, the Soviets are on alert as well. This would have been what was this, August of '93 or whatever. This is Clinton. Yeah. He had other things going on, maybe.
Waco.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Waco. That's what I was talking about. And so they're after Magneto ascended to Avalon, he is going to the world leaders are going to initiate the Magneto Protocols, the A and B version or whatever. So basically what those are is like Magneto, if he come to Earth, he can't use his powers, it might kill him or whatever. But okay, that's comic booky. Whatever. When I was reading it and it was like, oh, what would happen? It reminded me of that joke in Harlem Nights. Be like, yeah, you put a root on your ass, you bury your drawers in the yard, you can't go outside no more. Anyway, all right. So Magneto obviously doesn't take well to this. Y'all provoking me, which is kind of funny. And so and it's what Brother Beavis was bringing up here. You see Magneto on Avalon with the acolytes, and he called it Kubert face. I mean, all of them dudes' faces and ladies is exactly the same. There's literally no difference between any of their faces. It's just kind of, that's his thing, I guess.
His group pictures always look weird to me because they look so flat. It looks like, I don't know.
No definition in their faces.
They're all, the depth is just gone.
Yeah.
Well,
Cardboard cutouts stacked up on each other.
and everybody's eyes are lightweight closed. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't really see them. I mean, there's a shot that I have to make a note about. Rogue has her eyes open there, and she's got coon eyes. They're actually open. You're like, ooh. So
Well, this is a pretty long monologue, so they
Yes,
might have
it
just.
is.
Start darking off.
Well, my other shot on there, I was like, so for Rusty and Skids who suck, Skids can't even get no gear. She's just hanging out there looking like Val Cooper.
Mhm.
Straight up civilian.
And who's the black
Rusty
lady?
got something on.
Who's the black lady?
Frenzy.
That's
Is
Frenzy.
that Frenzy? Okay.
Yeah, friend.
She changed her name to something else, but I can't remember what the hell it was.
They suck. We get Exodus in there selling them like, hey, even the deaf need to hear sometime before Magneto got to go do his thing. Exodus is a great design character. He made his way back in the House of X and Power of X2. Remember he was running down Scarlet Witch as being the pretender or whatever they called her on Krakoa or whatever. Just a cool design character. I always kind of liked him.
I couldn't tell you a single thing about him. Powers, where he's from, what he does.
The design is cool though.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, so Magneto drops in. He drops a huge EMP on the Earth or whatever, and then we get some really cool onomatopoeia. That's an awesome onomatopoeia right there. And then we get a kind of a roll call of the two members of the Fantastic Four. Thing taking a bath naturally.
Always.
They run that gag a lot.
Yeah, we don't even make any bath jokes. Why does Reed look like he actually made that EMP? He looks evil as
He looked
hell.
guilty as fuck in that picture.
Don't he?
Well, he knows. Yeah, it's like he knows exactly what happened. He's like, "Oh, I got 6 of those ready to go."
Illuminati.
Now, they're all like, "What are those muties up to now?"
Yeah, exactly. They're not
Fucking
gonna
up the
do it.
planet.
Yeah.
Illuminati.
Yeah. My note actually here, I skipped over it. And shout out to DMX. My note says Magneto stopped, dropped, and opened up shop on the Earth, man, and shut it down completely. So things are going on. We get another shot. It's who is this? Sunfire. All right. My note here says, I hate Sunfire. If you could, you don't like Exodus.
He doesn't come out enough to hate.
Come on.
Last time we saw him was what? X-Men, big X-Men annual #1.
he was there with Moses Magnum when they were that shit. Yeah.
He was part of the storyline where Colossus's brother came back because it was in like the Falcon Islands or whatever. They opened up this rift. They used Sunfire's power in this amplifying suit to open up a rift or something.
Okay, so why is he embraced his Japanese heritage now? Because his costume is definitely different.
Yeah, they geared him up so he could channel his powers.
Okay.
But there was a whole sequence in, I think, X Factor or Uncanny X-Men where Iceman went to Japan. That's where he was breaking up with Opal, and they fought they encountered these, what they called the Cyber these cyber samurai. Pretty sure Sunfire was part of that story too. So
of course.
Never liked that character. We go out to England with Excalibur, Sandman's crew, the Excalibur crew.
Start cussing. Start cussing now.
I think I was surrendering by that time.
You already out, But Britain's costume looks really cool. He's also unpressed by this whole thing because nigga's still drinking tea.
Why is he in full ass costume though?
Pull his feet up.
He's like, well, whatever. The power will come on soon. Like, whatever. I'm like, come on, man. Because Nightcrawler is definitely pressed.
Yeah. He knows what happens when the lights go out. They start rounding up colored folks.
Yes.
Start burning torches.
Here they come with the pitchforks
again.
Yeah. So you just see the destruction all over the place, and then that kicks us out to the mountain, and then we get a shot of Beast and Boyo, Sean Cassidy.
They have the same face and same sideburns.
Exactly. I was like, why is Beast smiling? I don't think this is a smiling situation, Beast.
It was either that or Snarl, right?
Yeah, that's guess.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So we had everything's really bad. There's the Shi'ar technology has kicked in. It's like, well, I guess we got to go tell Charles, as if he didn't know. And then we get another freaking Kubert face page. Look at their faces, man. They're all
He's got like one model he just uses, doesn't he? Like over and over again.
Yes.
They're all the same size.
Yes. Look at Moira. Look at Moira's face, man.
We're doing
There's
Bad.
so much hate.
It's not hate. It's just an observation. Some people aren't good at certain things. He's not good at
This man, you know how many issues this thing sold?
It sold a lot. Well,
Understood.
That doesn't make it good.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
that's it. So, but why are and all the original X-Men are hating for real? Look at their faces. Look at Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast. Like all of them are like, I'm really mad at this whole
Well,
situation.
to be, one of the themes that runs through here is how, like, the modern team, Rogue in particular, they're more accepting of Magneto and they have recent history. But the original X-Men are like, no, yeah, we remember Cape Canaveral.
Yeah. Hutch, look at Jubilee's face. You really defend that?
Oh wow!
I can't stand Jubilee when she's drawn by anybody, let alone badly.
She seems like she's enjoying this turn of events.
Yeah, a little bit. And then
there's an opening up for me eventually.
Why is Bishop on top of this pyramid? Because he's the tallest. Is that one of them things we put the tall kids in the back?
I don't know that it's his tallness that got him there.
Yeah, well, yeah, because Psylocke is back there. Gambit smoking a heater.
Oh, maybe it's I was gonna say maybe it's time on the team, right?
Oh, originals. Oh yeah,
originals up front. That's true.
Yeah, middles. Okay, yeah, except for Revenge.
Yeah, what? I didn't even notice her. Damn.
Well, but she was on the team with Rogue and Storm. Yeah, she wouldn't be before Storm, but
yeah. But she seems like on a different, like a little level below.
Well, that's because his cutout pictures don't make any sense.
Tell me how you really feel.
Yeah, it's that the dude is a great artist. It's not that he's just not good at faces. That's not. I mean, that's it.
Very basic.
Yeah, I mean that's
like George Perez could draw a panel with like 85 heroes on it, and everyone would look unique and well positioned.
Yes, not his strength.
This is not what Andy Cooper does.
Got him the crisis job.
And Xavier's sitting there with his freaking Sonny Crockett 5 o'clock shadow, very serious about this particular situation. And he's like, yeah, X-Men, we have a problem. Cyclops, explain it to him.
Look at the position of this globe in Cyclops briefing is hilarious to me.
It's like one of those red balls outside of Target.
He's like, so the problem area is like right here, sort of in this region
here.
What is he pointing with?
Yeah,
it's like got a sawzall of some sort, or a pipe wrench.
Sawzall, doesn't it?
yeah.
Just grab a random tool and point at the earth, and just get your nuts on it too, Cyclops. Give us that briefing.
Yes, Cyclops. I have said Scooby-Doo explains what's happening here. And then the professors, explains everything that's going on from his particular end. And he's like, basically, we have to put an end to this situation. Like, we cannot, like, we've thousands, hundreds, or maybe thousands of people died. Like, it was like, well, I mean,
that's a normal weekend.
That's what I'm saying. We're going to war for this. Only hundreds, maybe thousands. I mean, not to say that those lives didn't matter or whatever, but I mean,
But mutants clean up their own mess. That's
basically. I mean, I don't know. Rogue is still in her feelings about this, which we talked about in the first 3 issues, where she, should have led with titties instead of words, and she paid for that. And spoiler alert, she didn't learn her lesson the first time. So
she's not a Rhodes Scholar.
No. So yeah, Magneto's retaliation has rendered all mechanical and technical issues useless on the entire planet. I have a note in here, Brother Beavis. You're gonna have to explain some of the science.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's not this one yet. It's coming though. But yeah. So how bad was it? Yes, hundreds or maybe thousands died. All right. So yeah, she's in her feelings about it, and then we get to the little briefing with the original team here, and they talk about what's going on, and they go over like, hey. Oh, is this all is is this stuff really worth it? They start reciting all this bullshit that Charles and pumped into their heads for the past 40 fucking years. And it is all corny, Hutch. All this freaking, we can't use the you can't we got
this is where it gets a little whatever. So supposedly ain't Charlie Xavier supposed to be the MLK of mutants?
Yes, he is.
Right, and peaceful coexistence, and that we can work it out, and this, right, the kumbaya, right, mutants and humans and Homo sapiens and Homo superiors can live together and achieve peaceful coexistence.
You changed the Malcolm X off him quick.
Within the next Kevin pages, he really kind of turns it off. He's like, man, them bullets, they don't be discriminating. And so they're like, hey, this is kind of corny, right? And then Xavier shows up deep up in his exoskeleton. Jean's line later is like, where the hell you been hiding that? I was like, yeah, that's for sure.
And who paid for it?
Well, we already talked about Xavier.
It's always Shi'ar. Technology. That's their excuse for every damn thing.
And look, that Illuminati boy. Woohoo.
Man. Well, hey, let's give Charles his props. Obviously, he was tapping Lilandra's ass pretty damn good for her to give up all this technology.
Either that or she just kept getting him stuff so he would stay away.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Charles wasn't putting in no sad ones. He was Charles was getting it in, man. Come on.
So I mean, his ailment was from the hip down. I mean, he was limp everywhere except for the middle leg.
Man,
I mean, I'm asking.
Lilandra was like, "What that tongue do, Charles?"
Oh, that's awful. But yeah. Well, apparently it
did something. What it do? Yeah, thank you. So anyway, so the OG's team, they recap what's going on. They see him in his suit. Beast has like a snarl or laugh too, and he's basically like, "Yeah, I'm gonna lead the strike team." And they're
like,
no, the fuck you ain't.
They were like, well, you. Gene tries to say it in a nice way. You've never really been a great field general. He's like, I'd be insulted if that shit wasn't true. But yes, he's put together a strike team. And this is why I came back before. He's put a team together that that has the best of whatever he needs to set up this particular plan. Let's go over this team, by the way. Okay. For stealthiness, Wolverine and Gambit. Okay. Maybe excellent strength between the both of them.
Maybe
good. Only if you add them together.
Maybe remarkable in his berserker rage, but
okay. Jean and Xavier, depowered, not Phoenix Jean, and
Marvel Girl, or a little bit
exoskeleton boy.
You got amazing,
amazing telekinesis, telepathy,
feeble strength, and maybe
typical and poor.
Not even good between the two of them.
Quicksilver and Rogue. Okay, now Rogue got amazing strength, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Quicksilver, good, maybe.
Yeah, probably
lucky.
But if you hit you 100 times, it gets up to excellent or remarkable.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
Maybe.
Really? Wow.
Right. And I think he could charge you for it, like amazing damage, maybe if he runs into you.
This team sucks. You can't convince me that this team doesn't suck.
Well, and not to mention, one of the dudes is full of metal.
Not exactly the smartest thing.
All right.
Chuck kind of forgot something, when he put that team together, didn't he?
Well, also,
and his suit might be, ain't it also a problem?
Mr. Exoskeleton is also rocking some metal as well. And again, Magneto had gotten so powerful in that issue of Uncanny X-Men, he was freezing people with the iron in their blood. So, at this point, you really need an all hands on deck situation, and this
plastic on deck situation.
This team ain't it at all, in any way, shape, or form.
But look at the reserves.
Well, but what this reserves is better than these dudes. And the reason Charles is picking this team, he says it's for strategic and emotional reasons. He's leaving the OGs on Earth, because they don't expect to come back. Beast tells them, we're not going to come back, but we have to soldier on, Christian soldier, to keep up the good fight. Blah 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 blah. I mean, okay, I guess, but can I get some firepower when we go fight this battle?
This is where you throw in Kitty Pryde and all that mess. Yeah.
You wanted stealth and all that.
No, you want right.
Man, you better leave them like the flying.
And Jewish.
Well, you better leave them like the fighting 44th in Glory or whatever. You better send in the black troops or something first so they can get killed. And then y'all can send them come in behind them, man. The Rogue One crew, whatever. Man, you need to get somebody to lay their lives down so that other people can go in there and clean it up.
Yeah, I volunteer Jubilee.
This is terrible.
Get her ass out there.
The hell. So anyway, so they go. They all do this is a very reminiscent scene from X-Men 137, where they all talk about how they feel about the fight ahead of time. Gambit and Rogue. He's still smoking a heater.
It's Strike Force Moriarty for those who are about to die. Go for it, man.
Yeah, is that what that is? Okay.
Man,
and then Storm becomes literally the voice of reason in this. Like, you taking these sorry motherfuckers up there? Like, she's the voice of reason. This team sucks, Charles. I mean, honestly, this team is terrible. And they're like, well, this is what we're doing. And, he gives his whole speech or whatever, but blah, 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 blah. And so they go to the freaking Star Trek teleporter thing. And why is Wolverine in a Beat Boy stance? Nobody else in Beat Boy stance. And those
because
costumes,
he's Wolverine.
those exos or those suits kind of leave. I don't, so I can see their whole costume still.
They don't seem to do much protection in any of the vital areas of the body.
They look more like they're like strength power suits or something like that. They don't look like they're protecting the damn thing. Doesn't matter. All the vital areas seem to be wide up.
They're like, well, we all got typical strength. We need something.
Yeah, it's not great. So they go to their bit, and then they take off and they go. And they land on Avalon, and they are seen immediately by Colossus, who I don't know why is he not in his human form?
Because he got injured. He got cracked in the head by the executioner.
And
so he has a head injury, so he can't change back into his human form.
Human form.
Otherwise, then he'll have a brain injury.
Nice. Well, he's there. He sees them immediately, and he turns off, the ring monitor. Damn, you see what? That's what happened to you, Sam, man. That's what happened to your jersey.
Oh, damn, man.
Oh, man.
Yes, that was low.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. I'm sorry. So anyway,
no, you ain't.
In there. I am. Yeah. So they get in there, and Colossus lets them go by or whatever, and he makes a little remark about, well, he probably should do something to Magneto after he freaking shut the whole damn Earth down. And so we get this first encounter with Rusty and Skids, y'all.
Yay.
Again, Skids got no gear. Oh, it looks like she got gear here, though. It looks like she's got some gear in here on this one. And then in that first shot, she was wearing khakis. So, yeah. They encounter them. They have this debate about, hey, we're finally living the dream up here, whatever. And Xavier's like, go to sleep. Have this conversation. We're done. We're not doing this. So they knock them out, and and this is an issue for Jean. Like, no, what? They were under the control of Strife, and now you're thinking they might be under control of Magneto, and you're just making decisions for them. He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Okay, we don't have time for this debate. Here, Quicksilver, go do your Quicksilvery shit. And he sends him off with a CD disc. And he goes, yes, the CDs, kids, Google it. He puts that in there, and he runs. Who's that dude that he runs past? Come on, that acolyte.
It could. There was a guy with the that was Frenzy's partner that had some computer interface powers. I don't know if that's him or something.
Oh, he's not the one that does warps and
That's the
no.
one I'm thinking, but I don't know if that's him or
I
not.
think his name is Warp or something. Yeah, I think.
I have no idea who he is. I don't know.
Well, they get through there. He puts in this program, and it's somehow explain the science on this one. He puts in a CD-ROM, and the CD-ROM allows him to lock onto the DNA signatures of the acolytes that are in there. And he hits the button, dummy, and all the acolytes get poofed out into teleportation pods, so they are taken out of the battle, and they're all gone. So it's just Magneto, and I wonder why Colossus didn't get teleported out of there.
He was still in training.
Man, but
They hadn't had a chance to load his biosignatures into the acolyte computer.
No, there
We'll go with that.
That sounds.
He was a recent.
Yeah.
Right. They didn't program it in time.
Nice. Well, Magneto realizes what's happening, and the onomatopoeia is "Fatakaroom" as he comes in. Yeah, into the room. He came in the door. He said it before. And it's a big old freaking fight, comic book fight, and here we go. It's on like Donkey Kong, y'all. And it's going to be a big battle, and we just kind of switch between back and forth. Wolverine's the first punk jump to get beat down, and it doesn't go well. It doesn't go well at the beginning, and it doesn't go well at the end. Rogue tries, and she doesn't leave with boobs. She leaves with words. Yep, leaves with words again. That doesn't go well for her either, as she gets taken out as well.
Molly whopped.
Yeah, it's just not. I mean, he's taking them all out, and then they're having this debate, and Charles is like, "No, we can't be fighting with him verbally. We need to, lock, Wonder Twin powers, activate, merge, whatever. We got to do what we can to get inside of his mind and take advantage of all of his insecurities or whatever." And Jean's like, "Oh, this goes against everything we've ever said." He's like, "Shut up, bitch. We had a fight." It's true.
Yeah,
it's true. Gambit finally breaks through. 3 ace cards to the face. For Shrek is the onomatopoeia. And then we get the flashback scenes, and everybody's like, "Man, Charles, really?" Like, I mean, do y'all think this is too far for Charles to go? Like, it was just not like, because again, the story that comes out of this later, when he does become, sort of becomes Onslaught, it would seem that this would have been a natural progression if they didn't kind of retcon it with the evil Magneto worm that's delivered into his heart or whatever that story that they told. Like, this would have seemed like a progressive heel turn for him. Or with this way, it just seemed like we got there too fast?
I think with the weight of everyone on the team telling him he's fucking up. I mean, I think this is an exemplar of like that. Xavier. Xavier raised all these folks and like almost brainwashed him to this dream, and now he's like,
almost.
Fuck it. Yeah. Like, he's like, screw it. It's, forget everything I've been saying for the last 30 years worth of comic books. This has got to be different. So I don't think he's unjustified. I mean, he's clearly reached a point where he's like we said, Magneto, here comes Magneto again, right? The story's played out. And so it's understandable that Xavier would reach a point where he's like, yeah, we literally can't do this anymore. And I'm going to stop it. But the fact that everybody on the team, both teams, the entire time is telling him, you've gone too far. This isn't right. This isn't right. And also, they kind of lightweight try and absolve him by making a reaction to what Magneto does. But I mean, I don't think you can defend what he does in this issue against what he did in the prior 30 years. Right. Unless he's going to say, this is a hard break. Well, okay, that's fine. But don't ever bring up the dream to me again. Because you clearly don't follow that, so don't expect me to.
Yeah.
And they do go to that route eventually, but I don't think directly stemming from here.
Yeah. I mean, I think like it would have been the perfect time to turn, like, well, this was it, and he's going to be this completely different character moving forward, and he's not. They still kind of bring him back out. I mean, and honestly, over the course of the last 15, 20 years, they really bring out Magneto like WWE bring out Hogan. Like, well, got to bring him out for some reason. By the way, fuck Hulk Hogan. And we got to bring him out for something, just to, and not even to get a pop. It's just like, well, I know we had this character that we did. I remember we read that one relaunch of the book that was kind of doing the cartoon team, and they brought him back, but he was somebody had taken over his body. I can't even remember who it was at that point.
The Phantom X.
Phantom X, yeah, like it was
Total or something. I don't even know if it played out.
Yeah,
he ended up taking over Phantom X's body. But
yeah, it was just weird. They just bring him out in weird things, and then like he's just not even, much like
that was when he came back after Cyclops killed him.
Yeah, and it's much like the Dream. It is dead. Like he should just be dead. Like Xavier has no point anymore. Like in his comic books, it just doesn't. So
hey.
He doesn't. How are you going to defend? What purpose does he serve other than paying these bills, as you said?
Right. This is his team. He's great, and he was great in Illuminati. He is the evil egghead.
Nice.
All the Illuminati, you could say, are evil freaking eggheads. They're the
Right, but
Strange, freaking Namor. That motherfucker's a villain.
Right. They're all kind of
was like, yeah, we're not doing this. They're like, okay, you're done. I can't accept that. Okay, you're off the team.
Yeah, that's so funny. You were like, there was one of the other previous podcasts we were talking about Xavier. You compared him to he's Jerry Jones. He's like, hey, this is my team. I'm gonna keep my name on it.
Exactly.
So I ain't going anywhere. I'm making all the decisions. This is my
right. I'm the GM. I write the checks. I call the plays.
I call all the plays. That's hilarious.
Oh God.
So anyway, so they Gambit gets wordy, and he gets, I'm assuming there's some metal across his lip or whatever. They get in there. They talk about Doug Ramsey's death as they're going to try to make him feel bad about all the things that he's done. This is the low point. Charles, he was really hurt by this. I don't care. Keep pushing through. And then finally, Pietro gets the drop on him. And then we go through this long bit over several pages here about, him losing his mom and all the stuff about Scarlet Witch. And it's like a super meant to be emotional type of situation. But Pietro lets it lay out all of his daddy issues, which he has numerous of. I mean,
right. And no one cares about him.
No one cares. And that's terrible. Well, he has a wife at this time. Was he married to Crystal?
Who cares?
And he has a kid too.
They got kids and nobody cares.
But
NBC.
Magneto don't care about her.
Right. He don't care about none of them crumb bums.
Magneto's like, I loved your mama, but fuck y'all. Your sister against me. Yeah, he's exactly. It's a code of fucking kids meme. And he's like, you know what? You gotta die. And then that's when Wolverine gets the drop. Like, oh, anybody who try to kill their own kid is a bitch. So
he got some nerve for sure.
Can you, since you have the actual book, can you look at this picture of Magneto after he gets shanked? Is there blood in the original comic? Because the digital version, it just looks like he cuts open his uniform.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, if that's all you did, then why is everyone so upset?
Don't open it.
I don't remember any blood being in the original comic. I
remember blood being in the original comic.
Yeah.
Let's go back and check. Fakakukroom.
Fakashash.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
Hold on.
It just
when he opened, did you hear that?
No blood. No blood.
Well, what are they all worried about? How could you cut my uniform open? I'm surprised he didn't kill the guy and knocked his helmet off.
Yeah, exactly.
The Juggernaut 2.0.
So Wolverine gets a drop on him, and it's just like, oh, well, you did this? Okay. Well, I'm gonna do something to you too. So it starts with a tug, and this is where we get this scene. If you're on the YouTube channel, you can see Hutch has pulled this up, which is eventually going to be Wolverine getting the adamantium ripped out of his body, molecule by molecule, or something as they describe in the book. And they just, I mean, it's a shocking scene. You're not expecting this to happen. Wolverine, again, a super popular character at this time. I would say probably actually even gets more popular after this, unfortunately. Not because he lost his adamantium, but just, that's the direction that they went and pushed the character. And, he rips it out of him, it's a great comic book scene, and, before we continue on in this or whatever, we're going to talk about comic books scenes and covers or whatever. We all got some of our favorites or whatever that we're gonna kind of share with y'all. But this was a big moment. We can make fun of everything or whatever. Wolverine winds up being without his adamantium for several years. I don't think it was ever meant to be this long. I mean, we go through a whole story where Sabretooth winds up with adamantium before Wolverine does. I mean, it was just huge moment. We're not going to go to Wolverine 75, but we get the bone claws after this.
Thank you.
Bone Claw, Wolverine. What was that, Brother Beavis?
I said, oh, thank you. Wolverine's book is awful.
All of his books, yes, every single solo of
Never
Wolverine.
had a good one.
Terrible.
Well, wait a minute.
Except for Kitty Pryde and
oh, don't you you're getting your shit muted. Yeah, you're muted, sir.
That was firing for effect.
Yes, that was right. Well, when he was Emmy of the State, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah. What?
So
Crickets?
Great. Yeah. So Logan goes down. They tried, and that's just sends Charles over the edge. That's it. He's done. I can't believe you did this. I'm going to take away the one thing that you have. Even though Magneto's trolling him, actually, while he's like, "Fuck you! What you gonna do about it?" Charles, I didn't think you'd ever. He takes his whole mind, and again, this does lead to Onslaught, and it was probably a good tracking point if they didn't retcon it literally during the series or whatever. Y'all ever heard that story? I may have even told it on here about Scott Lobdell wrote that story where this was really what was supposed to happen. Professor Xavier was supposed to just turn evil, like this moment just like sent him over the edge or whatever. And the editors were like, yeah, no,
we can't let you do that.
So if you go back into one of those books where they do the little fucking sperm evil Magneto that gets into his heart, and that's what turned him evil.
Yeah, that was a terrible freaking reveal. It's so bad.
Yeah, that's where you can't keep the editors in there sometimes. And he goes thwump, and he's out, and he took his mind, and he's veggie Magneto tails. And Colossus comes and picks him up, and he's like, nope, I'm staying here on Avalon. I need to take care of him. Maybe I can take care of him like I didn't take care of my sister. And we cut in credits, and that's X-Men number 25. Wolverine
should be dead, or you would think. But
what'd you think of the issue, y'all? Does it hold up as compared to some of the other ones? Does it hold up
compared to the other ones? This is great.
There's some major ramifications. Obviously, you got three major players out of action, pretty much. Mags, Professor X, and Wolverine.
Yeah,
we're all kind of out of commission for one reason or another.
Yeah,
it's pretty big.
Yeah, I think as an event book, I think this delivers. And like I said, I don't like I said, I don't remember running around the house when I read this page, but looking at it now, like the couple panels where you kind of get the hint of what's going on into the big, almost full screen, superimposed with the reaction of Jean and Charles, and just Wolverine just about getting ripped apart. And we'll talk about this probably a little bit. There's a couple iconic scenes where Wolverine gets reduced to just his skeleton. And this is almost the reverse. And it's interesting that they sort of leave it as his fate is still unknown, and we get more of that in his own book. But yeah, I think it's striking to me how the team sort of diverges from Charles. Charles, he acts like this is triggered, but in some senses kind of went into this being his final fight with Magneto. It really should have been, everything after this should have been different. And I think they did weaken it by the story they ended up telling, where he was under the influence. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it holds up like fairly well 30 years later or whatever. Like, this is a solid book.
Wow.
You know, I really do. Like, I've read it obviously a few times, and you know, I'm like, man, this really holds up. Like, again, compared to some of the other ones, it doesn't feel so outdated. It feels fairly consistent with what the characters were at the time. You know, like it just, I don't know. I thought it was all right. So it's an iconic scene, iconic cover. So we're going to share some of our iconic scenes and covers. I'm going to go first as the producer of this podcast. I'm just going to share. Hey, man, you get disabled participant screen sharing here.
I said one participant can share at a time. Wait a minute.
Are you
All right, go
already-
try that schnit.
Yeah, mine
Oh,
is
here we
disabled
go.
too.
No, do that. Try it now, you Oopa Loopins.
Do this.
I just want all the power. That's all it's about.
No,
That's what it's about.
Can you see my screen?
I don't.
no, sir.
Oh, man, I don't know where I saved these dang on things. Let's see. I don't know how to do this. All right, somebody go ahead of me. Oh, wait a minute. I got it.
That's what she said.
All right, here we go. All right, so I'm gonna go start from the bottom. This is one of my favorite shots from the X-Men or whatever. That was just a great shot at the end of it. Was like 133 or
wait,
4.
you're sharing your Explorer.
Yeah.
We see
You
your.
can't see it?
These thumbnails are fascinating. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, we
Oh,
see
for
your.
Pete's sake.
Really
files,
expanded on
but,
them.
yeah,
Dog
we
it. Somebody go ahead of me. Take my
Uh,
screen share off. God dog it.
Got to stop sharing
Stop
because
sharing.
Dictator Hutch only lets you
Arachnoid.
Yeah.
So
Ah.
Go ahead. Somebody go ahead of me.
Let me see if I can do mine. Hold the phone.
Are we doing covers or panels or both?
I had both.
Oh yeah. All right.
You got the invaders or no?
I can't.
I see it.
I see it. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, so I really try to steer out of like things that I thought you guys might bring up because so many times one of us in particular tends to have the same opinion as me. But I've talked about
this.
I talked about a stack of comics that was in my basement and I read like over and over. And this is from one. This was one Invaders 19, I think. And there's the premise is the Nazis have kidnapped the invaders and they've got this whole glass covered death trap where, you know, Bucky, you don't really have to do anything because you don't have powers. You just shackle him to the outside.
Yeah.
But Namor is all dried out with the heat and they got sucking out the air. So the torch and Toro can do everything. I always thought that was really cool. But the money shot, so this was the opening, and then the money shot was the next one, which is the last panel. The Union Jack shows up. And I've been a mark for the Union Jack in general. Def Leppard started wearing the
what about Eddie?
So yeah, there you go, Iron Man. But speaking of good strength and probably a pretty awful Marvel card, but imagery wise, I always like the Union Jack. So from there, I went to I've brought this up a number of times. This is from X Factor 84, which if you enjoyed the Executioner song, so that's off the table.
Yeah, right.
The X Factor needed therapy after that too, and so they go through therapy. And the two that really stood out is Quicksilver talks about like part of the reason why he's such a jerk is like because the world is just moving slow around him, and he's just like waiting in line the entire time. And I thought that was like you get that feeling, and you're like, okay, I see why you're so unlikable, but of all the people in X Factor, like we got nothing on Strong Guy, who's just an absolute joke, visually, story wise, character line, costume, and they give you this intro of him where he's another person who can absorb energy and release it or turn it into strength. But the twist is that he has to release it, otherwise it sort of distorts his body, and that's why he's got this kind of clown shape. And so as he reveals that, he's like, yeah, but you know, it always hurts. I'm in constant pain. And don't tell everybody he's basically been covering that pain up all of this entire time. And, you know, I'm a sucker for a martyr and we all got our issues and this all stuck with me. And this is where I was like, okay, I want to learn more about this. They never really did anything with him. He's still probably a joke, but that always stuck with me. We did a review of this book, which was X-Men 190, 191.
Mhm.
Yep. I love these books. And there's a bunch of pictures of Spider-Man
Romita.
being tortured. And the setting, I always wish they did more than this. And it hit me as I was thinking about it. I kind of think they were trying to recapture that 141, 142 Days of Future Past Elseworlds and just drop it out. But we never really heard anything about this. But that picture of Spider-Man and all the twisted versions of all the other people, that was always cool to me.
That's nice.
And then, like my X-Men, I think what I put in the article was like, Scott's always whining about his powers and having to hold him back. Well, he might have been right. Admittedly, Sinister, I think, has a vulnerability here, but this is the remains of Sinister after they keep poking Cyclops, and this is the end of the Inferno saga. He literally obliterates Sinister. So I was
enough.
As a Cyclops fan, that this was always big for me. And at this point, I realized I've cited X Factor twice, so I must be a bigger X Factor fan.
Yeah.
And then this one, this particular image, this Gambit. Let's see how you handle the whole deck. And like I said, Gladiator wasn't a complete joke by this point. So the fact that he knocked down the character who had taken out Hutch's boy Colossus and everybody else,
the whole universe. Yeah.
And then this is like as soon as they said Thanos was in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we knew it was Infinity Gauntlet, this is exactly what I was hoping for. And so I think what we get in the movies is actually better than this, but actually they send all the heroes off to Thanos. Mephisto tricks him into reducing his own powers, so they actually have a chance, but they really don't. And like the last man standing here is Captain America. He does the slow walk up to him, gets right in his face, and gives him the old, as long as one man stands against you, Thanos, you'll never be able to declare victory. Seconds later, he gets punked. But, at that moment, that's what I was hoping for. And there's our Avengers Assemble, Cap wielding Mjolnir moment we get from the movie. And I think we got a pretty good rendition of that.
Yeah, FYI, that was 2 years ago, which doesn't even seem possible.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And that was 2 years ago.
RDJ even said that.
Thanks for the share.
Sure, it was 3 years ago.
2, 3 for the other one.
For the first one, Infinity War.
Yeah. See if my stuff copies now. Actually, I'm the worst at this. Go ahead. Somebody else go ahead and go. It's rewinding.
Let me see if I can get mine. Where the hell? How do I get to my desktop? I can't see.
It showed you like a bunch of different screens that you have, and you got to figure out the one.
Yeah.
Jeez, we look so bad in front of the.
Edit this out.
Right.
Everybody looked through the.
There was a funny thing on AEW this past week where they were doing a promo, and Kenny Omega was allegedly getting upset. He's like, can we start over? We need to do another take. And they're all like, we're live, Kenny. It was obviously fake, but it was just like, we got to do this again. We're live. This is live.
Any luck there, Sam?
Yeah, hold on. I'm coming back. I'm trying. All right, share screen. Oh wait, Sam.
I think I'm sharing mine. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah, I see. Oh, well, I see.
All right.
There you go.
Suddenly, yeah.
This is for you DC people out there.
Yikes.
I know. We already have feedback.
That's day one.
That's day one.
I actually read the entire Crisis on Infinite Earths, the original one, before they started doing 50 of them that all make no sense. At the time, I actually was reading Supergirl, believe it or not. And so, of course, as soon as I started reading it, they killed the character off. So
that's DC got a DC.
DC got a DC. But
DC,
this was an iconic at the time. Yeah, it was a murdered off. They ain't gonna kill Superman. So, hey, who's that chick dressed the same right next to you? Yeah,
I'll kill your cousin.
Get her out of here. And
that's a short skirt. But yeah.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. So that's that one.
Where did that come out in relation to that really not good Supergirl movie? Maybe that was
Ooh,
backlash from
that was like 90s, I think. 89, 90,
Supergirl's
something like
80s, isn't it?
that.
Well, the Crisis was in 86 or 87, but or 85, 86. But that Supergirl
were
movie.
Fruity Pebbles out at the time.
And we got another one. This is really old. For those who don't know anything about the DC universe, this is basically the first time they showed another universe outside of the main stream heroes of like regular Flash like on the left and old school Flash on the right. So
Right.
Flash of Two Worlds. It's kind of a famous cover. And
I don't know if you are going to touch on this, but there isn't it right in Flashpoint, or no, it was part of Crisis, right? Where Superman and Flash are racing, and Superman's like, "Come on, I'm faster than you. We've raced all the time." He's like, "Yeah, that was for charity." Boom! That's a great scene too. he's like, "Yeah, Clark, that was for charity," and he just like dusts him. That's great.
I wasn't going to say that, but yeah, that's pretty fun. That's funny. But yeah, old, famous. I always thought that was iconic. So I'm gonna save that one for last. Y'all know what this one is. We've talked about this many times.
Damn it, Jim.
This is I'm sorry. I know I'm probably stepping on somebody's toes, but this is the whole reason I started collecting Secret Wars, the comic. I think I actually bought this book first and then just backtracked to that. So I didn't know what the fuck was going on when I was reading it.
Well, I hope there's another cover. Hopefully, I would expect to come up along here some way. Or another Secret Wars cover belongs on this list.
But iconic. Enough said. Beautiful. I love that damn costume.
Agreed.
Perfect cover, in my opinion.
All right.
I got more than 5, y'all. I'm kind of going over.
It's okay. I do too.
And we all know this moment.
Yep.
Phoenix commits suicide. And there's been, Jesus, how many times have they redone this and brought it back in other stories or whatever? But
it's great.
Yeah,
it is.
Byrne, that's probably his best.
Yeah, and Burns almost at his peak here. If he's not, Fantastic Four he's still super strong then too.
That too.
But yeah, he's in his prime here.
Gorgeous.
Yep.
So iconic. Real quick, there's another one I picked. This is I just love the artwork. This is right after Jean becomes Dark Phoenix for the first time, and she's leaving Earth and basically burning the hell out of Central Park.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Sebastian she stomps her muddy feet on the couch.
Yeah.
Fuck your Central Park, nigga.
That's what she said. I believe somebody said something about powers. Mjolnir.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow.
This is Captain America in the guise of the Captain. This is actually a Thor comic, obviously, with Mjolnir in it. And this is, I should have had other scenes. What happened was the minions of Set are jumping on top of Cap. Thor is actually under duress. He can't get to his hammer. He can't summon it. So Cap knows, is like, well, I don't know if I can't lift it, but he goes to it anyway. And we find that Captain America can lift Mjolnir. Which
is that the first time he lifted it?
As far as I know.
As the captain?
As the captain.
That's weird.
I don't think he ever did it as Captain America before this.
That's weird.
He did it several times after this. But yeah, that's the first time he did it, as far as I know. And one last one. You ain't gonna be expecting this. I don't know if any of y'all ever read this episode.
We had
it. Yeah, I read it.
That's probably why I know of the X-Men. Well, this issue is why I do know of the X-Men. This is when I thought Nightcrawler was worth a fuck. he was beating Spider-Man's ass. Like he hit him in the neck with this damn pinch, like, because he's got the 3 fingers, obviously, and kind of fucked
the Vulcan
up
death pinch.
Yeah, death pinch. This is the first issue I ever saw any of the X-Men. This is when I saw Nightcrawler, Wolverine, like who is this short dude with these things in his damn hand? Like, this is the early 80s, kids. This was like radical stuff back then, for me anyway. So yeah, Colossus, Wolverine, and Nightcrawler. This is the very first time I saw any of them was because of this
You recall
book.
Hutch's line about who's Nightcrawler beating up cops. Because that's his typical strength or whatever it is. Yeah,
But great. That's a good episode. That's a good issue.
Spider-Man, by the way. So, nice.
All right, I'm done. That's all.
I think I can do this now. I think I can do it. I know it's gonna be.
Yeah, you're the producer.
This is not his medium, apparently.
Right. Wait, we got to pull out an abacus for you. Come on, man.
Where's my desktop? I don't know. I can't find my desktop either.
Forgive us for some of us.
And my son's stuff is all on here.
That's you might want to rephrase it.
Let's see. Oh yeah,
I see the thumbnails.
All right, so here we go. First up, I'm just taking them there.
Oh, dang, that's a great. Gosh, I love that.
Oh, I should have. There was one I forgot.
3 issues are amazing as they're trying to take down the Hulk. Those are just amazing books.
I had that too.
Damn, Iron Man, Hurt,
also
Wonder Man, and Namor. Jesus.
Also Burn too.
Do they send him to like another dimension after that? Is that how that ends up, or how do they get rid of him?
They wind up pulling or getting. Do they put him back in? Banner back in? Or,
Banner shows up and they merge together at the end or something.
Yeah,
that's how they slow him down.
Remember Hulk was
Doc Samson gets a big push out of this, actually.
Right? But he whoops all their asses.
Yes, he does.
Classic Hulk.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Great. Dang, I remember.
Good cover. Very good.
Damn.
This one, just for shits and giggles. Should have never happened. Can't believe it happened. Enough said.
That's great. Damn. Memory
with symbiote, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is a great. Damn.
This is just one of the best. And when they recreated that in X-Men the animated series, talk about popping.
I might have run around the house on that.
Yeah, that one definitely helped.
Damn, you could draw.
Great. Yeah, I mean, this is classic as well.
Yes,
that whole series.
If we wind up getting or not getting a Kraven's Last Hunt out of these Spider-Man movies,
let's pray Marvel does it.
They really dropped the ball because those books are great. They dropped the ball if they don't.
Well, they haven't even teased Kraven yet, have they?
And I don't want them to do it because they'll screw it up right now.
Yeah, I mean he's so difficult to do.
Right, he is definitely two-dimensional.
Yeah,
very much
difficult.
Right,
and then my last one, and only just because it just pissed me off so much when we reviewed it. This bullshit.
I saw that link.
I know what this is.
This bullshit is awful. Like I'll never get over it. Ever. This is one of the worst things that they ever committed to memory. Comic books. They everybody that was involved in that should be smacked in the dick.
Whoa. That's a little painful.
I'm done. Hutch, come on, man. Bring it.
All right. Well, shit. Now I'm gonna fuck up my shit. But anyway, and talk. Yes, Maroon.
You did kind of talk some snack.
All right. Well, let me try this mess. Shit. Don't look at my emails. But anyway, this I don't know. Can y'all see that?
I can.
Oh, anyway, yes. This is one of my all-time favorites. It's the Sphinx getting his ass whooped by Galactus. I've always loved the Sphinx, and he just gets his ass whooped by Galactus. And after this fight, Galactus destroys his Stone and says, "You're gonna remember this shit. You got to relive your life."
Yeah,
right, eternity.
Yeah.
So he got to come back and get his ass whooped again and again and again. That fucked me up.
That's what did the 5 fingers say to the face at that bottom panel.
Right. And got his complete fucking suit got slapped the fuck off. Gee, what an ass whooping.
Sphinx is just there to get his ass beat.
Right. He's Michael Sphinx.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
And the second one.
Dr. Light sexually assaults the elongated man's wife, an identity crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
Damn,
they went deep on this one. That was messed up.
That's what
I used to read the Teen Titans, and Dr. Light was always kind of stupid. But this story retcons it, and they say, he was an evil fuck.
Yeah.
Right. He was an evil fuck. He literally raped the character's wife, and then they mind wiped him. So that's why he was weak. But yeah, this is awful.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, the next one.
you ought to get punched in the face.
This is fucked up, man. Norman Osborn is supposed to be dead, and Gwen Stacy's supposed to be dead.
Both of them.
Right, both of them. They brought Norman Osborn back, and they said that he was giving Gwen Stacy the media injection, and that's awful. And Spider-Man found out, or Peter Parker found out. That is awful. So not only, he was whooping his ass in his real life, he's whooping his ass in Spider-Man. That's awful.
And he's tapping his girl's ass too.
Right, and it kind of got graphic there too. It was awful.
I think
bad idea.
I was reading. I probably have those books somewhere. Was it Sins of the Father or Sins of the Past?
Yeah.
Like I have those books, and even during that time, I was just like, "This is bad." And then they got the two clones that come out of
right. The clones.
Oh God!
They trying to whoop his ass because they think he's a deadbeat dad, and he's not even the father.
Their captions for this are out of control.
Yeah.
Download those bastards.
Yeah.
Poly purebred.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
My gobs.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, those were. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. All right. This was an article I wrote several decades ago. All right. So yes, that Kraven's Last Hunt. You saw the cover, but yes, Kraven went from a 2D character to a 3D character after this series.
The push was amazing.
The books were chucking amazing.
Yeah.
Him finally beating Spider-Man after about 200 times getting his ass whooped.
He stole his identity and
right, stole his identity.
Oh my God!
And killed people, did all kind of shit, buried him, and he has to come back and reclaim all his shit.
Man,
and then Kraven's like, "That's the best I could do," and kills himself.
Yeah, he's like, "Well, I'm good."
Right.
Crap.
Checked himself out.
Isn't there there's a scene where either he's got the hole in his head or his chest or some shit, isn't there a cover like that?
Yeah, I remember what you're talking about.
And that's another thing too. When you go back and try to find these things, it's hard as fuck to find some of those really gruesome shits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
depending.
Yeah, self-censorship.
Yeah. All right. So next. Wait a minute, man. Next was the Phoenix Force.
We each got some Phoenix shit.
Right. Oh well.
Not.
Yeah. How right? This is right. Her going dark, and all the people was like, "Damn, this is gonna be a bad day." You ain't lying. So yes, her going dark was amazing. And let's see.
I hear once you go dark. Then.
Oh yeah, that. Oh, in this one, the Joker shoots Barbara Gordon, the Killing Joke.
Yeah.
I bought this book. I thought it was gonna be one of those Elseworld books, or this shit ain't gonna count for nothing. But it's a cool whatever story, and they end up making this shit real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, don't watch the cartoon.
The movie's terrible.
Right. Well, but
animated.
This story is woohoo.
Yeah, that story is
story.
Right. So
it's been that long. Good.
Well, the funny part is that the book is so messed up, and then they were like, "Let's make this cartoon movie. It's gonna be messed up too, but let's make it more fucked up and have Batman fuck Batgirl."
I was gonna bring that up. Yes, I mean it's one thing to be fooling your Commissioner Gordon. Oh yeah, I'm not Bruce Wayne. But yeah, if you're smashing his daughter, man, and lying to him in a cape, in a costume and shit, yes.
Somebody that worked at DC that thought that was a good idea.
Did not need any more additional creepiness.
Right.
Yet here we are.
Yes, here we are. So yeah, those are my inserts. I did have a cover thing too. How do you get to that shit? See here, wait a minute. All right, let me go back to that.
We did well.
Yeah, that wasn't hateful. We almost prepped for it.
Well,
So the one I would have also put on the list was the
Secret
Hulk holding
Wars.
up the mountain.
yeah.
Oh
thought
yeah,
about that
that's
one.
a good
I
one.
thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a classic too. I thought it was gonna get picked. I was kind of the same way. I'm like, let me pick something that everybody won't pick. But
That's of all the stuff we've
Oh,
gone
yeah.
back and hated on.
yeah,
Secret
That's
Wars
not
is
a
really good.
yeah,
It is.
Still,
yeah.
it has
I,
its issues, but it's still really good.
yeah. Again, re-editing the podcast for the remixes or whatever, and listening to them, and it's like, oh, this is some of our better work as well.
Yeah, I love this cover. This George Perez, I
George
think.
Perez did that.
Yeah.
He did
Yeah.
Crisis and he did Infinity Gauntlet.
He didn't
Good
finish
Lord.
Infinity Gauntlet.
He didn't?
No, they switched over to Ron Lim halfway
Oh,
through. He
wow.
got like burned out, or he couldn't
Ah.
finish it, or he couldn't meet deadlines or whatever.
And he
Right.
probably
Yeah,
got tired
Blame him
of
for
drawing
drawing all
800
those
Oh, that
characters.
141 for sure.
yeah, 141 for sure.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I'm also going to put episode 8. But yes, one. But
Oh,
this,
that's a really good one.
Yeah.
yeah, this.
How many
I
times
mean-
has this cover been reproduced before?
Right. Everybody and their sister does this cover.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Solid.
right. And
The New Warriors did a twist on that.
version
If
that.
I
Yeah, they
recall.
did. They did.
Mm.
I love this one as
And,
well.
Yeah, anything Alex
series.
Ross does is
Yeah.
freaking immaculate.
Right. So right. If Superman and Shazam are going at it, I'm buying it. I do. Now I also had X-Men 142, but I don't know where it is now. But
Mm.
all right, so here's my weakness of the early 90s or mid 90s, whatever.
I see the link. I see the tab.
Yeah. Damn it,
Oh,
these damn Michael Turner covers of women. If Michael Turner did a cover of a hot woman, damn if I didn't try to look at it.
Mm.
And I also fell for Lady Death too. But anyway,
R.I.P. By the way.
yeah, he's gone.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he's been gone for a minute too.
Bingo.
Yeah. But yeah, those are my weaknesses.
Okay. Very solid. Yeah, that's fun. I like that. You know, there's so many things that we could have chose from, and I mean, literally, could do several podcasts about this. But we want to get to the wrap up here, which is the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier. My recap is really very short, because we reviewed the first 3 episodes, or maybe the first 4 episodes.
Mhm.
And so I guess we're going through the last 2 here. But to recap, let me see. Hold on. Falcon Winter Soldier recap. Battlestar got killed as we predicted, which sent Walker over the edge, which we also predicted. And he gets the super soldier serum, which also makes him go over the edge.
Moreover.
Then Bucky and Falcon have to fight him to reclaim the shield or whatever. If he kills somebody on live freaking television, they have to fight him. He's again a little bit nuts. They get the shield from him somehow, some way, whatever. All that John Walker gets in this thing is a freaking dishonorable discharge. I'm just like,
Yeah, after killing a dude.
wait,
Yeah.
what? He just killed somebody? Okay,
But I need to interject.
go ahead, military.
All right, thank you. This man is a soldier in the army. All right. Soldiers, he is not a superhero. Soldiers kill folks.
He was wearing the suit.
Them suits, we all be wearing suits, but his first suit is that army suit. And that army suit
not painted in the American flag.
Right. Well, even in the right. Look, America's been killing folks on TV for a minute, as we all well know. We didn't watch about 3 or 4 videos in the last week or 2.
Fair.
So right. So that ain't nothing.
Mm.
And another thing, America would not put out no stank ass hero or soldier that ain't got no powers. Your power is to throw a freaking shield.
Frisbee,
a frisbee for maybe good damage, excellent damage. Come on, man.
With
Getting punked out by some flag smashers.
Well, the Flag Smashers have a ridiculous plan, and their villainry is suspect at best. Let's see what I have here. Oh, so yeah, so they do that, and then in that battle, Falcon gets his wings ripped off or whatever. Him and Bucky, have a bro out, hug out, and like, hey, I'm gonna become, whatever. He takes the shield. He gets his freaking Rocky moment to do push-ups and run, past people or whatever.
Montage.
Yes, and he does some flips and whatever. I was like, man, what are flips gonna do against these guns? But whatever. And so we get to the final episode or whatever, and not dealing into Lady Hydra and all that other stuff because it's really kind of miscellaneous and trying to deal with the big issues here. And then we get the probably the most on-spot comic book costume in any of these things. I mean, that Captain America, Sam Wilson Captain America costume is literally out of the comic book. I mean, holy cow. Like,
duplicated completely.
Cool to see him, but could you really see him? I've had several issues about that final episode that was shot super dark. If you ever listen to our Game of Thrones podcast on the last episode or the next to last episode of that show where that shit was
remind me of that, man.
A freaking trash can with a candle, or you couldn't see anything. It was very difficult to see Captain America or Sam Wilson Captain America is fighting all over the place. The story of the Flag Smashers thing to stop the vote for the GRC so they could get their settlement lands. It's really just all of this political stuff or whatever. And we just go through the whole thing, and then somehow John Walker showed up like, hey, I'm, it's Marvel 2-in-1. We're on teams now. Like y'all was just trying to kill this dude.
It didn't make sense. They were all on the same side.
And he turned face. Like, it was like the quickest face turn of all time. And
it was rushed.
He's fighting them. Sharon's the power broker. Spoiler alert, allegedly. And she had hired all those Carly and her people or whatever to be her muscle, and then they got away. There was just a lot going on, which was the text that Sandman sent out early in the morning there. And just overall, I just didn't care for the finale. Like, that was me. I ain't care for it. And then I mean, when you get into, the Isaiah Wilson with him, man, fuck all you people in this country for testing on me, for throwing me in jail and testing on me for whatever. Like, here, nigga, here's a statue. Oh, thank you. Get the fuck out of here. Sorry, man. That just didn't fly for me. It just didn't work. It's not going to work at any point in time. Nobody's going to explain to me that would have been the way that would have went down. That's it. That's the tweet. Well, all around the room, y'all. Hunch, did you finally see it?
I did. I watched it that day.
Oh, okay. Your thoughts on the finale?
The finale, it was rushed. The part I really didn't like the part where old boy been thrown in jail for 30 years to get a statue, and that makes it better. What about some reparation? What about some something? Right.
Yeah.
No one came out and said, "Oh yeah, we put this man was Captain, or this man was the American symbol of whatever, and his reward was getting thrown in jail for 30 years."
Yeah.
He ain't get paid nothing. Living in a shack in Atlanta.
Literally a shack.
That's Baltimore, sir.
What? Yeah, right. Yeah, it's Baltimore. Yeah, whatever.
So Atlanta, but yes, go ahead.
Yes. And I'm not the biggest fan of that costume. And him being the face of America, I mean, and that ain't gonna work either. And I got another thing. Why is the ownership of that shield so nebulous, as old girl said?
Because Stark Enterprises made it, and it was kind of just given. Well, not given, but loaned to the government so he could use it. And
the government, nobody loans nothing to the government. The government just
the government, they're just like, no, this is ours, bitch. Fuck you.
And eminent domain.
But yeah, it has something to do with that. But,
there was just so much, and I mean, not even getting into Sam's speech, not even debating the quality of it or whatever, but I was just like, This is really where we're going here. Like
Mm.
it's just, and it's not about. You could take the politics of it out for me. Agree with the speech or don't agree with it, but it was just like it didn't seem like it was like, hey, we had this big battle. All right, now we're gonna let Sam Wilson give this 10-minute speech about like shit that we didn't see on screen, and it's just kind of playing out, just to kind of give this, to give him this moment or whatever. I was expecting Ant-Man to come on and be like, hey, he's pretty good at that, right? He's pretty good at these speeches. So I'm like, all right, well, whatever. So Brother Beavis, you had thoughts?
Yeah, like I said, I was disappointed in parts of it. There's a lot of it that, a lot of things that bothered you, producer, that don't resonate with me for obvious reasons. But the one thing that stood out to me was like Sam has this big intro, and then he can't beat Batroc.
Amen. Preach, brother, preach.
Yeah.
He was doing better at the Falcon.
Yeah.
And so then he goes off and he has some other shenanigans, but he chooses to not fight with Carly, which is actually a strong decision.
Mm-hmm.
But then so he's essentially 0-2. And then he goes and has a long-winded speech. And I don't know how they could have made that better. There have been any number of times where they've been able to pull off the Cap speeches with Steve Rogers in the movies, where it doesn't feel forced or faked. But this felt like, hey, you should recognize this as a speech that is good, and you should now think of him as Cap. It felt like we were being given that, but it didn't resonate in the same way.
Right. And it was way too long as
well.
Actually,
yeah, exactly. Because like the stuff that they've pulled off with the Cap speeches from Steve is like, it's short and to the point, and it generally does come off as pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought as cool as like I thought like him, he has that it's almost like they froze a frame and then he throws the shield through the window and flies in. Mm-hmm. The visual reveal of him was great. Mm-hmm. But then like he's so weak in the opening sequences, other than being able to lift a truck.
With the help of Red
Wing and ancillary drones.
Yeah.
So I thought, obviously the reveal of, the return and the face turn of John Walker was rushed. And I thought like his, when he is fighting like 3-on-1 and holding his own, but he has to make the conscious decision to help out the civilians. I thought his change came across, but you can never say it wasn't rushed. And I think they would have been better served to leave sort of his transition into U.S. agent as more of a bumper or a tease for the next show. But realistically, they're not going to get that show to be able to carry that sort of force. So I get that.
Yeah.
The Bucky stuff I thought was great. I thought like, even though he was second billing, I care so much more about him. I think his arc as far as dealing with, his trauma, his scenes with, him coming to terms with his problems, even though, I've heard people say like his reconciliation, not reconciliation, but him going to confess to Yori and getting this. I heard that was rushed. I've heard people comment that was rushed, but I mean, how much screen time are you going to give to that? It's not like it's not like they buddied up and had a drink afterwards. So it's not like everything was rosy for. So I thought the Falcon stuff, or I'm sorry, the Bucky stuff was great. And, him just sliding into the picnic and obviously did not bring potato salad with raisins. I thought they handled him great.
Public.
And I thought there were aspects of the Falcon that were great, but I think they bungled some of it. Yeah. They made him too weak at times. So
he got his ass kicked the entire series. I mean, that's
pretty much
can't fight.
And then I also don't like killing Batroc, killing Carly, killing everybody. I don't like that.
Yeah. Start killing all the people there.
And then the Sharon thing, don't even. That's just.
Oh yes,
If she's not a Skrull or something, then I don't have any idea what's happening.
That's what
or some deep cover, triple agent double cross, whatever. But
Yeah, I think I said to y'all, like, I'm fine with, like, they've done what, 2 shows now, and we're 2 for 2 on the antagonists being women. Good. The ladies need to be like villains. That's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that.
That's real life.
Yeah, keep
Yeah.
it going, but you need to, like, it just it felt shortchanged. And same man, you had said, like, it probably should have been 8 episodes instead of 6. It just felt rough.
It felt really rushed.
Seemed like a COVID compromise story.
Shortened. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I mean, but again, overall, I thought there were 5 solid episodes. I just was not a fan of the finale. We talked about
They didn't really stick the landing. But.
Yeah, can you stick the landing? To me, they didn't. I've seen plenty of people online are like, "Oh, I love it. I thought it was great." I'm like, "Okay, how old are you?" That's basically where I'm at, honestly. Because, like, yeah, think about it. If you grew up, we read Nick Spencer's Sam Wilson Captain America in our 40s. If you grew up and read that in your 20s, that's a completely different perspective that you're seeing that from. That means you've grown up on modern comics. That means that character means something from there. Like, there's a huge difference. So if you saw that and read that from there, like, I'm sure that was a bigger pop. We know Sam Wilson is Falcon. Damn it. He's Captain America. They're going to make a Captain America 4 with him. Okay, that's fine. Sam Wilson is Falcon. He always.
I'm gonna call him Falcon. I'm gonna call him
Falcon. Exactly. He's been Falcon, and they were completely true to his character in the comic books because he would have been that dude. Like, like, he is that dude. Like, he's not freaking Malcolm X. He's freaking Sam Wilson, man. And I'm fine with that. And he should have been fine with it too. And dude, could we have just not had a Captain America? I would have been okay with that too.
The world, they had to have a Captain America, man. They had to have a Captain America.
As we said when they did, oh God, what were those? All new, all different. When they did those
the replacement heroes,
we read them and we said the exact same to the Plessy versus Ferguson heroes, that the separate but equal heroes will eventually be replaced by their white originators. It's inevitable. There is no world where that's not going to happen. Thor is going to come out. We got freaking male Thor. We're going to have
woman Thor.
Whatever her name is.
Beta Ray Bill.
They literally just did it and made U.S. Agent there while you're calling this dude Captain America. Seriously, like, it is what it is. That's what I'm saying. Like,
there's a white Vision. Oh, anyway, yeah.
Pale Vision.
Pale. Behold a pale Vision.
I mean, I don't know. And again, I don't think you push Sam Wilson as far as he could go on the card, man. Like, as Falcon, like, he was perfectly fine in that particular role. He was. I just, like, we're gonna give him. I would have much rather have seen freaking Isaiah Bradley Captain America as opposed to Sam Wilson.
Don't give Disney any ideas. They might.
Yeah.
It would have been a better story at this point.
I was reading a lot of setup for Dark or Secret Avengers or Thunderbolts, and then the other thing I heard thrown out is, given the U.S. Agent and Pale Vision and Hawkeye probably moving on to something else, it could be a West Coast Avengers.
No.
Oh my God.
Oh, damn it! I connected them too, but that's another story.
Yeah,
Tiger ain't in it.
Hey, Tiger, wasn't you supposed to be in that thing with Dazzler and MODOK and ain't they all supposed to be?
Well, they cut that shit. Well, unfortunately, they didn't cut that bullshit MODOK show off. But
right, well, that's what it's laying around somewhere. But yeah,
somebody will get to it. So, but yeah, so again, this Sam Wilson Captain America leads to, we don't know how this is a
full-fledged movie.
Well, that's
Captain America 4.
That's a solid 2 or 3 years away, and I had this thought. I don't know if I text this to y'all. These movies that they have coming out feels very DC universe, and like they just feel like standalones. They do. This freaking
Black Widow.
like that's obviously a standalone because it's retroed in the from whenever before.
Supposed to be
But
before
they just
Endgame.
feel like all these projects they feel like standalone and they don't feel connected. Eternals feels completely disconnected.
No,
you know,
Eternal
from
suck.
whatever. Shang-Chi, Master Kung Fu feels complete. Where it's completely disconnected. Now again, we
We'll
can
see.
go back 2+ years ago, 2 years and a week ago. We could go back and the 3 people on this podcast, Hutch was out of it. Maybe you were on it. We were like, man, this Infinity War is gonna be some bullshit. We literally put that on wax. We were like, man, I don't know. And then maybe a week following, we're like, hey, we'd like to issue a public apology.
We were not correct.
That
not
was
assumption.
that was my number one movie, Marvel movie or movie period. Well,
it's great. So
movie.
I'm just saying. So at some point in time, trusting Kevin Feige, #damn Disney, whatever, they're gonna tie this all together. But it just feels so DC to me right now. It's just
Phase 3 had a little bit of that feel too, where we had, or Phase 2, somewhere in the middle when they were rolling out Ant-Man and Doctor Strange, and they were sort of rolling out the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
It had that feel to it, but you knew what they were building to in advance. Now we don't really have that.
Yeah.
I think
it's about to advance to a bunch of people we really ain't big fans of.
Well, I think
Captain Marvel.
I think they're slowly transitioning to the mutants. I think, and Fantastic Four, because that's like the other big titles that they still have left. That they
but nothing that's in the pipe sets that up though. That's like a hard turn.
I think you're going to start. I think inevitably they have to start dropping clues about them coming in. Fairly soon, because that's what people want.
You can't get to the end of 2021 and not have it had made some sort of announcement about either or both of those two teams. Like at that point now you're talking 3 years again from even getting to a movie, let alone building something out. And as Hutch said, I mean, cross arms, man. Like we ain't got that kind of time. You need to put these movies out, man, so we can actually see them where I can, with my own eyes.
COVID too threw a monkey wrench in that damn.
And that's fair. That's fair. But I'm just not. I ain't gonna be waking up at 6 a.m. and watching no damn Loki. I assure you of that. That shit ain't happening.
Yeah, you say that now.
That ain't happening. I will catch that when I can.
I might be up at 6, but
I might be up at 6, but I ain't gonna be watching no Loki at 6 o'clock in the morning. Fuck that. Nope.
What is that? Next week?
No,
it's in June, I thought.
Oh, is it?
You got like 6.
I thought they had them stacked tighter than that.
Oh, so they don't have nothing coming out.
6 weeks. I think it's Loki leads to Black Widow.
6 weeks without Marvel.
I think I'm all right.
I want to see that What If when it starts coming out.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
And Secret Invasion, Intrigued or whatever, But anyway, all right. So that concludes. We have an extra long episode right now. Today, just been a while since we recorded. We had essentially 3 different podcasts on here. Maybe you've been find this podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio. Just search Brothers Comics. You'll be able to find it there. On the YouTube channel, just search Brothers Comics. You can find that. If you are a football fan, we'll be having our Cincinnati Bengals draft podcast on Thursday night, starting from the tip-off all the way through the Bengals pick at number 5, unless they trade out or whatever. Then we keep going later. They better not trade out, and they better not.
What
trade
does it
out.
matter?
But he's right, but he's wrong.
He's right.
Wrong. He's not wrong. But so be on the lookout for that or whatever. Go to brotherscomics.com. You can see Brother Beavis's article about some favorites, comics and covers. I will repost Hutch's article as an update remix to push it back towards the top of the page. There is probably buried in there a little bit. I'll push that to the top, and that's about it. So, as a producer of this podcast, if you're listening on the podcast version, you hear the X-Men the animated music playing us out. I am the producer, and I'm signing off. Sandman, so go ahead and sign off.
All right, people. Until we see you again.
Yes, sir. Unless you're a Bengal fan, Thursday night. Brother Beavis, sign off.
And did you mention this? I understand, producer, you're remixing some of our classic issues and
Yes,
releasing them
this
with
is also
improved
true.
sound
Yes,
quality.
yes. We
Where
are
can the
remixing.
listeners find those?
Yes, if you go to SoundCloud.com and search Brothers Comics, or if you go to Apple, iTunes, any of those things, you're going to see them there. You will notice the title says Remix. That is a much better audio, minus our unofficial third member Talk Shoe recording live. He has been removed from all of those podcasts.
Why you do talk shoe like that?
Talk Shoe is
from
like-
humble
Talk Shoe
beginnings.
worked- humble
He
beginnings.
Talk Shoe eventually dropped the N-word and had to be
Yeah.
censored off.
Talk Shoe was Jerobi from Tribe Called Quest. He was still a member, but we really didn't hear from him anymore. Hutch, go ahead and sign off. Don't get fired.
Good night.
All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you on the other side. Pieces.
Dude.
Jesus.